Coming up tonight, hacking ain't just for boys anymore. Nope, champion hacker Starla Pureheart is here. Plus, actor Sean William Scott talks iPods, and Leo helps the monkeys. Live from the TechTV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers.
Monday edition of the Screensavers.
Special because we survived the weekend. Is that why it's special? Yes, sirree. Bob Height. I'm Leo LaPorte.
And I'm Patrick Norton.
Thank you for joining us. This is the geekiest and freakiest show on TV, and I'm proud. I'm proud of that. And after the break, the Screensavers' first female hacker, Starla Pureheart, will be here right after this quick break. There she is. So excited about our next guest. In 2001, she won DEF CON's Cyber Ethical Survivor with an F contest. Get it? Survivor contest, making her the first woman in history to do so. DEF CON apparently no longer just for boys. We welcome Anna Moore, or AKA Starla Purelight. Hi, Anna. It's great to have you. Would you like me to call you Starla or Anna?
I will answer to either one.
Pureheart. Did I say Purelight? Pureheart.
Yeah.
Where did Starla Pureheart, the name, come from?
Well, I mean, my original handle was Princess Zelda back in the old Nintendo chat rooms when we were all little kids. But I started getting hit on by a bunch of creepy people, so I changed it to the more gender-neutral Star Road. Then I started hanging out in role-play chat rooms, and it just didn't sound right, so I retained the Star part, turned that into Starla, and the rest just sounded good.
It has a good role, RPG kind of feel to it.
Theme.
Yeah, absolutely. Now tell me about the cyber ethics contest that you won.
Well, I mean, a lot of you have probably seen the show Survivor, where you've got a bunch of people on an island and they kick each other off.
Right.
This is the same sort of thing, except instead of having to complete surviving challenges, you had to answer questions on cyber ethics and morals and things.
Oh, interesting.
It was really kind of an arbitrary contest.
Yeah. Did they want you to win?
Well, the audience did.
You were audience favorite?
Yeah, the judges kind of didn't.
But they couldn't.
I think they were looking for more of a rogue.
Right. You're not a rogue. I mean, look at you. You look like a normal teenager. By the way, how old are you?
I am 17.
Today?
Today.
Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for spending your birthday with us. That's really great.
Well, thanks for having me.
And you were how old when you won the contest?
I was 15.
15. Oh, man. Were you the youngest person there?
I imagine so.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't take a poll or anything, but I know I was the youngest person in the contest.
Well, were questions more about ethics than they were about hacking itself?
Yeah, I mean, there were almost no technical questions.
Okay. But would you consider yourself a hacker?
Well, I mean, the term hacker applies to a great many things. I consider a hacker to be someone who has a great passion for a subject and a yearning to attain knowledge on that subject. So, I mean, I'm not exactly elite hacksaw, but I do consider myself a hacker.
Right. In the sense that you have this inquisitiveness, and you kind of get under the surface of stuff and try to figure out what makes it tick. You wrote a great article, and I want everybody to read it on our website. And you talk a little bit about that, and it sounds like you're more interested in the process than in the end point. Is that kind of typical of a hacker?
Well, I think so, because if you're just focusing on the end point, you miss all the fun of the journey.
Right.
And the journey is really where it's at, because that's where you learn everything.
You also talk about your beliefs as a hacker, and you say that you found the hacker ethic in Stephen Levy's great book, which is called Hackers, and a highly recommended book. We love that book. And the hacker ethic is, information should be free, things like that.
Yeah.
When you first read it, what was your reaction to that?
Well, I thought it was really cool, because I'd never read a book like that presented hacking in such a positive light before.
Right.
I mean, I was raised in the 90s, the evil hackers.
That's right.
Bad people.
Have you met people like Kevin Mitnick?
Yeah, I have met people like Kevin Mitnick, reformed hacker types. They're really cool.
And have you met active kind of black hat hackers?
Yeah, I ran across a few of those at DEF CON.
Yeah. What do you think of them?
Well, I mean, they're pretty okay people, but I think they are a bit misguided in their intentions.
Yeah. You in your hometown in Oklahoma, you hang out with the 2,600 folks there. They're hackers also.
Yeah.
Do you share information about breaking into things? I mean, do you talk about that kind of stuff?
Most of the people I hang out with are white hat hackers, so we may share techniques on breaking into each other's honey nets, perhaps, but...
You're more just in security then?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
I'm not really interested in, you know, going off and attacking the government or anything.
Right, right. You don't look like the type, but you never know.
Appearances are deceiving.
I know. I've learned that much. You write in the article, hacking is an art of poetry and beauty. Cracking is a criminal act. That's to you, that's the distinction.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You also say, don't follow those that lose their vision. Have you met a lot of people like that?
I have met a few. I mean, there are some people who will start out on the path of hacking with a clear end goal in mind, but along the way they will lose their vision. They'll get caught up in being a reactionary and internet graffiti and stuff, and it just, they lose it all.
I thought, yeah, that was a really good characterization in your article. You do become a reactionary. Instead of pursuing the pure knowledge, you start lashing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of things do you like to do?
Oh, I like to play guitar. I play a lot of video games, probably way too many.
Gaming always leads to hacking. We know this.
Well, of course.
Yes, as parents. Your dad doesn't mind that you play all those video games?
Oh, no, he supports it.
He looks like a game. He might play a little bit of games himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents are cool that way.
Are they? Yeah, that's great. And you also, I know, a first dan Taekwondo black belt.
Yes, I've been taking Taekwondo for 5 years.
That's pretty impressive. So you have an outside life. But how much time would you say you spend in front of the computer every day?
Oh, every day, probably somewhere between 2 and 4 hours.
So that's not terrible.
Well, depending on what day it is.
Yeah. What games do you like to play?
Oh, I really like Quake 3 for the PC. I want to get Neverwinter Nights, but I'd say my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VI for the Super Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah, that's classic
My
gaming.
daughter's 11 years old and wants to follow in your footsteps, by the way.
Yeah.
And she likes Final Fantasy X. She's been playing that like crazy.
Oh, right.
It's a pretty amazing game.
I've not yet played 10, but I really want to.
I think you'll like it a lot. Yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty amazing. Another thing you say, don't be stupid. What do you mean, don't be stupid?
Well, there are a lot of stupid things you can do as a hacker because, you know, knowledge is power, and with that power you can use it for stupidity or for creative force.
Right.
But, you know, an example of stupidity would be going off and defacing a website that you're going to agree with just because you feel it's wrong.
Do you think hackers have a role? We're living in a society now where there's a kind of a tug of war between privacy rights advocates on the one hand and a government that is increasingly kind of trying to edge its way into our daily lives. Do you think hackers have a role in that battle at all?
Well, I think that hackers help to self-regulate that battle because, you know, they're usually the first ones to come out with patches to holes.
Right, right.
And that sort of thing.
Right.
In that respect, the disclosure of information is very important because otherwise it never gets patched at all.
Information deserves to be free. That's the first rule of the hacker.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's a lot harder in this day and age, but it's still an ideal to look to.
You're going to go to college in a couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to go this year.
This year already?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you know where you're going to go and what you're going to major in?
Well, I would like to major in robotics. I'd like to go to OU for my first 2 years and transfer out to MIT if they will have me.
Excellent.
And if I can bring together enough student aid.
And robotics, not computer science. Why robotics?
Well, I feel that the field of computer science has become somewhat limited by the computers themselves.
Right.
It has a design stereotype. Robotics is such a new field. It's still being born that you don't have stereotypes in the design and you're only limited by what you can imagine.
Very cool. Do you think of yourself as a role model to young women? I mean, right now it's a boys' world, you know, this computer world, and even especially the hackers world. Do you think there's a reason why more girls aren't involved? Would you like to lead them in that direction?
I think that everybody should learn about hacking and become a hacker in some field, whether that's music or poetry or computers. As for girls and hacking, I think they probably don't know about it. Because, you know, you're a girl and you're supposed to be into the Backstreet Boys and who's cool and who's dating who, not computers and, you know, Quake 3.
So what would you tell my daughter? She's 11 years old, and right now she kind of is starting to get thinking about whether she should be cool or whether she should be smart. What would you tell her?
I would tell her to be smart. Being cool is not worth it.
Any hack in the world you could do, what would it be?
Well, I had to think about that one for a while, but this is a little far-fetched, but I would write a self-propagating virus that would go onto computers, retain the data on the hard drives, but replace the operating systems with Red Hat Linux.
Now, I like that hack. Let's think about how to implement that. If you want to read more, Anna, you're just wonderful. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out here and joining us on the Screensavers. I'm going to make sure my daughter sees a tape of this show. Cool. To hear more about what Anna has to say about the world of hacking, check out her article. It really is great at thescreensavers.com. Stay put. Jeremy's looking for a good P4, but what's the difference between all those different P4s? We'll tell you if you stick around. And up next, use your computer to control the world. Marty, our hacker extraordinaire, shows you how. I know. It's about 4 gigabytes. 4 gigabytes of ROMs.
From Dade City, Florida.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Fine.
Good, me too. How are you, Patrick?
Mellow.
Good.
So,
I think if let's just stand here and see what happens. Oh, well, nothing happened. Hey, Jeremy, you're on TV. Oh. Jeremy,
he's shy.
Are you a little nervous? Don't be nervous.
Yeah, a little.
Oh, you know, I know what it was. How old are you, Jeremy?
17.
Yeah, see, it's Starla Pureheart. That's it. Yeah, you're a little, your heart's going a little.
Hey, Jeremy, I bet if you ask a question, we can get away from this whole...
Yeah, really, save yourself now. It's not too late. What could we do for you, Jeremy?
Otherwise, we're talking about dating.
Thank you for the call, Jeremy, and I'll get you Starla's number.
That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Leo LaPorte. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to our guest, the great Anna Moore, Sean William Scott, Stifler, Roots and...